Hey everyone, it's Tony here from Retirees Benefits, and if you're watching this video, chances are you or someone you love depends on Social Security payments to make ends meet. And I've got some news that's going to affect millions of Americans starting September 24th. Now, I know what you're thinking. Another change to Social Security? Another hoop to jump through? I get it, I really do. But here's the thing. I spent hours reading through the latest Social Security Administration reports, policy updates, and payment schedules, so you don't have to. Because I know you've got enough on your plate already. Some of this news is going to make you breathe a little easier, and some of it, well, we're going to work through it together. But by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what's coming, who it affects, and most importantly, what you can do about it right now. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and let's break this down together. Here's what we're covering today. The Social Security Administration just released their updated payment schedule and benefit adjustments for the remainder of 2025, and there are some significant changes coming that could impact your monthly check. My goal isn't to overwhelm you with government jargon or confuse you with complicated policies. My goal is simple, to give you the straight facts in plain English, so you can plan ahead and make the best decisions for your family. Because whether you're a single mom trying to stretch that SSI payment to cover groceries and rent, a veteran dealing with disability benefits, or a senior citizen on a fixed income watching every penny, you deserve to know what's happening with your money before it happens. Let's start with who needs to pay attention to this update. If you receive any of these benefits, this affects you. SSI recipients. That's Supplemental Security Income for people with disabilities or seniors with limited income. We're talking about 7.4 million Americans who depend on these payments. SSDI recipients, Social Security Disability Insurance for people who've worked but can no longer work due to disability. This impacts about 9 million people. Regular Social Security recipients. If you're retired or receiving survivor benefits, some of these changes apply to you too. Now, I want to talk specifically to some groups who might be watching this. To the moms out there, especially single moms. I know you're already juggling so much. If you're receiving SSI because of a disability or caring for a disabled child, these changes could affect your monthly budget in ways we'll discuss. To our veterans, you've served our country, and many of you are navigating both VA benefits and Social Security. There are some specific timing changes that could impact when your checks arrive. To everyone working part-time while on disability, there are some updates to how your earnings might affect your benefits that you need to know about. All right, let's get into the meat of what's happening on September 24th. Payment schedule changes. The biggest change is to the payment calendar. Starting September 24th, the SSA is adjusting when certain payments go out to align with federal holidays and weekends for the rest of 2025. Here's what this means in practical terms. If you currently receive your SSI payment on the 1st of the month and that date falls on a weekend or holiday, your payment will now arrive on the last business day of the previous month. This is actually good news for most people because it means you won't have to wait. For SSDI recipients, if your payment normally comes on the 3rd, 2nd, or 4th Wednesday of the month, based on your birth date, there are a few months where this will shift by a day or two due to holiday schedules. Cost of living adjustments. Now, here's something important that the SSA clarified in their recent announcement. While the official cost of living adjustment, COLA, for 2026, won't be announced until October, they're implementing some preliminary adjustments to address what they're calling extraordinary economic circumstances. What this means is that starting with the October payments, which, remember, now might come in late September due to the schedule changes, some recipients will see a small interim increase in their benefits. The SSA estimates this could be anywhere from $8 to $23 per month for most recipients. I know that doesn't sound like much, but for families counting every dollar, that could be a phone bill, or part of a utility payment, or a few extra meals. Let's talk about the positive changes, because there are several, and I want to make sure you hear about these. Faster processing for appeals. The SSA announced they're reducing the average wait time for disability appeals from 14 months to 10 months. If you're currently in the appeals process, this could mean you get your decision and any back payments months sooner than expected. Starting September 24th, you'll be able to do more things online through your My Social Security account. This includes updating your direct deposit information, requesting benefit verification letters, and even starting the process for some types of benefit applications. For those of you who have trouble getting to SSA offices, whether it's because of transportation, work schedules, or health issues, this is huge. The SSA is extending their phone support hours and adding more representatives. They're also launching a callback system so you don't have to sit on hold for hours. You can request a callback, and they'll call you back within the same business day. Now, let's be honest about the challenges, because I promised you the full picture. Increased documentation requirements. Starting in October, the SSA will require additional documentation for certain benefit reviews. This particularly affects SSI recipients who might need to provide more frequent updates about their living situations, income changes, or medical conditions. I want to be clear. This doesn't mean your benefits are at risk if you're eligible, but it does mean more paperwork, and for some people, that's stressful. Changes to work incentive programs. If you're working while receiving disability benefits, there are some changes to how your earnings are calculated that could affect your monthly payment amount. The good news is that most of these changes are designed to encourage work, but the bad news is that the rules are getting more complex. Certain groups of people need to take action before September 24th. If you receive SSI and your living situation has changed, maybe you moved, got married, or someone moved in or out of your household, you need to report this to the SSA before the new documentation requirements kick in. If you're working and receiving disability benefits, you should review your earnings reports and make sure everything is accurate in your My Social Security account. If you haven't set up your online account yet, now is the time. The new features launching on September 24th could save you trips to the SSA office and hours on the phone. Let me paint a picture of how this affects real families, because these aren't just numbers and policy changes. These are people's lives. Take Maria, a veteran dealing with PTSD who receives SSDI. Under the new payment schedule, her October check will actually arrive on September 29th instead of October 2nd. That means she can pay her rent on time without having to worry about late fees. Or consider James, who's been waiting 13 months for his disability appeal to be processed. Under the new timeline, he might get his decision by February instead of May. That could mean thousands of dollars in back payments months sooner. And for families like Sarah's, the one I mentioned earlier, every small improvement in the system, every dollar saved through smart shopping with tools like Rakuten, every day that a payment comes early instead of late, it all adds up to less stress and more stability. Here's what I want you to know about what's coming in the next few months. The SSA has indicated that more changes are coming in early 2026. They're working on simplifying the application process, reducing the number of forms required for certain benefits, and expanding their online services even further. But here's the most important thing. None of this happens in a vacuum. These changes are happening because people like you have been advocating for better service, faster processing, and more support for people who depend on these benefits. Here's exactly what you need to do before September 24th. Check your My Social Security account. If you don't have one, create it this week. Go to ssa.gov and look for the Create an Account button. Update your contact information. Make sure the SSA has your current address, phone number, and email. This is crucial for getting notifications about changes to your benefits. Review your payment method. If you're still getting paper checks, consider switching to direct deposit. It's faster, safer, and with the new payment schedules, you'll get your money sooner. Gather your documents. If you receive SSI, start gathering documentation about your living situation, income, and medical conditions. You might need these for upcoming reviews. Sign up for notifications. The SSA now offers text and email alerts about your benefits. Turn these on so you know exactly when your payments are coming. I want to zoom out for a minute and talk about what all of this means in the bigger picture. Yes, navigating Social Security can be frustrating. Yes, the system has problems. But these changes, from faster appeals processing to better customer service to more online options, they represent progress. They represent the voices of millions of Americans who depend on these benefits being heard. Every time you call your representative, every time you share your story, every time you advocate for yourself and others, it matters. And while we're fighting for bigger systemic changes, we can't forget to take care of ourselves and each other in the meantime. That means taking advantage of every opportunity to save money, earn cash back, and make our dollars stretch further. Look, I know this is a lot of information. I know that dealing with government agencies and benefit changes can feel overwhelming, especially when you're already dealing with disability, financial stress, or family responsibilities. But here's what I want you to remember. You're not alone in this. There are millions of people in similar situations, and there are resources and tools available to help you navigate these changes. The most important thing you can do right now is stay informed and take action on the things you can control. Set up that online account. Update your information. Look for ways to save money on the things you're already buying. And remember, small changes can make a big difference. That interim COLA increase might only be $15 a month, but over a year, that's $180. Those cashback rewards from Rakuten might only be a few dollars here and there, but they add up. Getting your payment 2 days early instead of 2 days late can mean the difference between paying your bills on time or dealing with late fees. If this video was helpful, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I post new videos every week about benefits, assistance programs, and ways to make your money go further. Check out the video I posted last week about emergency food assistance programs. The link is right here. And if you're dealing with housing issues, I've got a whole playlist about rental assistance and housing programs that could help. Leave a comment below and let me know. What questions do you still have about these Social Security changes? What other topics would you like me to cover? Your comments help me make better videos that actually address the things you're dealing with. And if you know someone who could benefit from this information, a family member, a friend, a neighbor, please share this video. Sometimes the most important thing we can do is make sure people have the information they need to make good decisions. I'll be back next week with more updates, more resources, and more practical advice for navigating life on a limited income. Until then, take care of yourselves, and remember, you've got this, we've got this, together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.